my name is McThumbs, and today I'm going to show you the most broken mission in the game, Shutdown. I'll show you a few out-of-bounds tricks and some fun little ideas I have for the speedrun as a whole, whether that be full path or co-op or anything like that. So this first out-of-bounds section comes right here in the attenuator tower, and this is currently used in the Shutdown full path world record. Just gonna continue forward, kill these watchers right here, and press this button right here, and then you're gonna see me do the out of bounds trick. So first thing you want to do, push this button to progress this mission, and then move forward into here. Come across this little pillar, and you're going to do a grenade jump up towards this little pylon right here. There is an invisible ceiling to the left, so it doesn't matter if you fall off it. And you're going to phase through this out of bounds section, and if you park your pelican right, as you saw me do in the at the beginning of the mission, you can see that the pelican is actually right here, able to be grabbed. So when you grab this pelican, you can bring it into the tower as you see here, and you can just clear out this entire section using the pelican, which makes this maybe a slight bit faster using a strat that you're going to see me use in a second. And in Legendary, this makes this section a cakewalk, and this section is actually very difficult to do on Legendary because of the sheer amount of knights and just sheer amount of enemies that you have to deal with in this section. And bringing this pelican in just makes it so much easier. And now, if we go forward, you're going to see me hit a load in this pelican, and if I move back, I end up teleporting out of the pelican, and puts me right in front of the other pelican. Now, I am currently, now that I've done that little teleport strat, I'm in this weird state where this tower is registered as complete. As you can see, I cannot re-enter this tower. I cannot go back in, but you're going to see that I am in a weird state where the tower is both complete and incomplete. As you can see, there's no phantoms hovering over this gondola tower, which is kind of strange. Usually there would be phantoms guarding this tower. But as you can see, the phantoms are not there, and you'll see that even weirder as I go into the gondola tower. I'll park my pelican like I did in the attenuator tower. That's going to be important later. You're going to see why, a little trick that we can do in gondola tower as well. But as you can see, the mission will not progress back into gondola tower, even though the attenuated tower is still registered as complete. Basically soft-locking the mission if you were to do full path. So going back to gondola tower in this unsoft-locked state, you're going to see me enter the gondola tower, like so. And you're going to see me park the pelican similar to how I did in the attenuator tower. Once again, this is pretty important. Right here, there's a wall that is completely untextured. You can walk right through it. And you can do a grenade jump and boost your way up to the ceiling right here. And you can hit the load right here, which puts you in a very similar state as you saw in the attenuator tower. You can sprint all the way up and grab the pelican before it falls. Unfortunately, 343 baby-proofed the heck out of this tower, but there is still a lot to explore around here. There's just no way to really get the pelican back inbound in this section. You're just kind of outside of a box here, and there's no way really back inbounds in the same way that you can bring the pelican. But you can still explore around here, and right now I'm kind of just on the ceiling of the gondola tower. There's a lot you can explore around here in just this big invisible cube that surrounds the gondola tower. But there, well, I did say there isn't a way back inbounds with the Pelican. If you see these little structures out of bounds, there usually is another one on the right, but for some reason it's not visually loading. So I'm going to go to the one that's visually loaded right here. And when I get out of this Pelican, you can see that I phased right through the invisible cube, and unfortunately the Pelican is not there with me. It's currently plummeting to its demise. But I'm going to slowly jetpack down here to avoid fall timering. And slowly but surely, I move back into here, and you can see that I am progressing the mission. So, no soft locks, but no good way to really get the Pelican back inbounds. And as you can see, I can press the gondola button to activate the gondola and continue the mission. Alright, now we're going to go back into Final Tower, and this section is if you were to do the IL route, which is to go straight into the Final Tower first. So I'm pause buffering right there to avoid the load. So, I bet that triggers a few people. Smile. So going up into the final tower, there's actually a bit of invisible wall that you can simply just stand on. And this is where the lift is. You don't want to go too far into the lift, but you want to jetpack out from the lift, slowly but surely. And you can see that there is this out of bounds area where you can see these basically the pieces that are supposed to be animated. If you were to do full path, you can see this part little animated come out, and this wall that's right in front of me, it will expand outwards as well. So basically any part of the platform that's animated in the previous section is here, right here in this section. Same thing with the door 2 is here as well. And you can explore around. There's a large area of here to explore around. Got your door, you can go back in through the lift if you wanted to, but there is a death barrier if you were to go back into the lift. There's a lot of death barriers if you go towards the lift. But none if you go too far out of bounds. But as you can see, I get too close to the lift and I die. So yeah, and in this part, this is right back into the final tower, right back into the lift, but the difference is that I've completed the other 2 towers normally, and I managed to animate right back. So, animate the section. So as you can see, this will alter the out of bounds slightly. So doing the same part, going into the invisible wall and jetpacking outwards. And as you can see, the out of bounds section is different. So if you stand right on this door here, you can actually still make it to this platform even though it's quite a bit away if you do some careful jetpacking. And see me make it right here. So you see me make it right there. And you see that the wall is largely gone. You can see that this door is still there. And you can expand much further out. Now, there might be a way to save the Pelican like you see me do in Attenuated Tower and Gondola Tower. Just not sure how to really save it because there is a double load. There's a load when you enter the door and there's a load when you enter the lift. You would basically, the only way you could really save the Pelican is if you were to somehow manage to get out of bounds before entering the lift. So in this next bit, this is right at the lift. For this next trick, you basically want to get into the lift on the outer parts of the lift. You don't want to go in straight into the lift, you want to be in the outer parts of the lift. You can end up doing this same thing, doing the God Launch method in the IL. But basically what you want to do is bonk your head on the ceiling, and as you can see, there are no death barriers in this section. The death barriers are completely unloaded in this current state. And also the enemies that are above in the tower are also not loaded, or not loaded yet. There are two ways to do this next part. You can either hit your head on the ceiling and manage to jetpack on the platform, on the Banshee platform, which is what I can kind of propose in an IL run, and you'll see why in a second. And this other part, which is much less IL viable, is to do this bit of railgun platforming. So you want to railgun boost your way to this platform right here, and then do another railgun boost into this next platform, which you have to crouch into. You want to slowly move your way out into this other platform right here that you can land on. And then you want to jetpack out and back on top of the platform. I fail it here, but I'll move it back up, jetpack back up, and boom, we've landed right back on here. There are no enemies in this bit, so you can kind of move freely around in this section. And there is no punishment for falling other than, it's a pain in the ass to get back up. So I'm going to go grab a Banshee and show the next part of jankiness. Might have gotten a little too far ahead of myself there, thinking I can just jetpack straight to the Banshee. Fortunately, the jetpack is not Halo Reach jetpack, so it is much less powerful. But we can Banshee boost all the way back to, the end of the level. I'm gonna Banshee bomb myself so I can squeeze my fat self through the store here. I'm gonna get out, get into the store, and fly back in. As you can see, this part is completely deloaded, and you're able to freely explore out of bounds, just completely out of bounds here in this section. Now, one proposal that I have in the co-op run is that one person does the jetpack method that would skip the enemy triggers, which I'm going to link in the description below. One person does that, grabs a Banshee, and manages to go out of bounds in this section. And when another person hits the enemy triggers in co-op, another person could end up hitting the final load while still out of bounds in the other section, which would allow the person to stay out of bounds while the other people teleport in. And when the person in the Banshee that can stay out of bounds could end up going to the very end of the mission, which would allow you to skip a bit of the waiting that you have to do while Cortana, freaks out. The proposal is that you can skip a bit of that dialogue and wait in the down below section. It can skip a little bit, which may be worth it in the long run, even though this does take a bit of setup. It's a proposal. It may not end up being viable, but it could make the co-op run a bit faster. But as you can see here, I'm kind of moving around. You saw me kind of be on the ceiling of the final tower, so that's pretty fun. And I'm gonna move down, and you're gonna see why I'm moving down in a second. Continuing to move all the way down. You can see this little bit kind of poke out, and this is the part of the final tower. The out of bounds that you saw me do earlier, this is the same part. And likewise, if you were to go into that lift, you will die. Just so the death barriers are not unloaded in this section. But yeah, that's my demonstration of how broken Shutdown is. Hope you guys enjoyed.